Hello friends, welcome back, and this is my third episode of True Parenting series which has been going on my channel. And from the title and the thumbnail, I think you've got the idea that this video is going to be about the boy child, your baby boy. Okay, so to start the video, I have two questions. The first question is for all the new parents and the upcoming parents. So the question is, do you think if you have a baby boy, or if you are going to have a baby boy, would you would you rather be concerned about whether the boy would become a masculine man in future or not? So this question is for all the parents, new parents and would-be parents. And my second question is for everyone. This question is, what do you think? What do you assume? What do you picture when you think about a masculine man? Okay, so these are the two questions which I'm going to answer. The answer to the first question is probably no. None are going to be concerned about whether their young boy is going to become a masculine man or not, because they're all too concerned about his health, his education, and his overall well-being. I guess that's not wrong. And the answer to the second question, what do you think about when you are asked to picture a masculine man? So the answer to this question is a tall man, a strong, tall, a pronounced jawline, beard, someone who looks masculine, someone who looks an attractive man. I guess this is most of you think. Now come to the topic of today's video. Okay, so this is about masculinity. This is about parenting. And this is about the connection between the parenting and masculinity and the youth of a boy. The youth which is relevant here is starting from the age of a year up to the age of early 20s. This is the span of life where masculinity of a boy develops. Now the question becomes, why? What is masculinity and why is it necessary? Okay, I'm going to come to the first question a little later. Before that, I'm going to come to the second question. Why is masculinity necessary in today's world? You can say world, you can say society. There's no difference. To run a healthy, smooth society and world, masculine men are very much necessary. Now, I'm not going to go into a controversy here. I think men and women both are equal if you consider the history of mankind and the future of mankind. They just have different roles. The form of the equality, it differs from the uh, popular notion and the reality. Okay, I'm not going to go into that because that's a different avenue and I'm going to explore it later. Right now, I'm going to stick to the argument that yes, men and women both have equal importance in the functioning of the world, the functioning of the society. But to have a healthy society, masculine men are very much necessary. Now, before going into why, now I have to come to the point, what is masculinity? Okay, so this is a very much, again, this is a very much controversial topic, a topic where many different notions are available, many different school of thoughts are available. In popular culture, what they portray as masculinity might not be the whole picture. So at the start of the video, I asked a question: what do you picture? What do you think when you picture masculinity? So the answer to that question is only the half truth. I mean, yes, to be a masculine man, strength is necessary. A robust body is necessary. That's a baseline, you can say. But that doesn't give you the whole truth. That only gives you a 25% of the truth. To have a whole truth, there are other facets of masculinity. Okay, so a man, so women are emotional creatures, but men have to be, number one, grounded. Men have to be calm. Men have to be mentally strong under pressure. Men have to be able to take difficult decisions. Men have to withstand during the difficulties of life, because men are supposed to be taking in all the, what can I say, all the negativities, all the dirt, all the obstacles of society, and still hold their character, hold their nerve. Men are like the exposed nerve. So being grounded, being calm under pressure, being honest, it's very much necessary. Being honest, being having integrity is very much necessary to be a man. So there is one another concept of stoicism. The concept itself is a little bit extreme for our liking. So these days, stoicism is becoming a very much sought after idea. And even though this idea was developed long time ago, around 2000 years ago, but these days in the modern times, we are going back to that idea again. However, most of us don't know what that actually means. So yes, I'm going to start a series on stoicism on my channel, and there will be all the different aspects of the school of thought. Okay, so being stoic, yes, that's a quality of a masculine man, and these are the main internal qualities that a masculine man must have. Even if he doesn't possess the height or the muscles, which he has to gain, by the way, and the looks and the beard, that actually that doesn't matter much as long as you have those internal abilities or internal characters of a masculine man. So these things are to be learned. When a baby boy is born, he doesn't come to the earth having already learned these qualities. These qualities are learned qualities. And another important quality I might have missed, which is not being fearful of certain things, not being afraid. Yes, that's very much necessary to be a masculine man, because a man has to take the burden of the society on their shoulder, and takes a lot to be a lot of character to be in that position. And the current popular culture, social media, they are very much onto emasculating men for their own benefit. And I'm not going to go deep into that in this video, because that demands its own video. These things, these qualities, men don't get from their predecessors. Maybe there are some qualities that can be transferred through genetics, but that's not all. That's a very tiny part of what you actually learn after you're born. And for that, the parents take a huge responsibility. Only the parents have the responsibility to transform their baby boy into a masculine man, because at the end of the day, his life depends on it. The happiness of his life, the peace of his mind when he is an adult, when he becomes an adult, depends on whether he was taught the things he should have been taught when he was a kid. Okay, here, one important thing is that to teach a man, a baby boy, how it is to be a man, the presence of his father is very much necessary. When it's the only thing that can teach him how to be a man, because a mother cannot teach her son how to be a man, a masculine man. The responsibility of teaching him all these things is totally on the father. And at least the presence of the father in his life, in his early days, is necessary, is very much necessary. I mean, you cannot think about the ones who lost their father by some reason when they were kids, because they didn't have their father to teach her the ways of life, which is the only thing that will matter when they become an adult. So for some reason, there are single mothers, and they raised their son their way, and a mother can only know femininity unless and until there are some other father figure in his life. He is not going to learn the ways of life a man should know. So the first thing is important. The first thing is that a baby boy must have the presence of his father when he's a kid. Okay. Secondly, we can see in many scenarios the father is indifferent to the phenomena of growing up of his kid. I mean, sometimes he's out for his job, out for his work. Sometimes he comes home too late, and he is not able to give time to his son. Sometimes the dominant, the mother is so much dominant that she doesn't let the man, the father, impart knowledge about masculinity in him. So there are many things that keeps the father from teaching the son the ways of life. And sometimes the father himself was not raised by a man, a masculine father, so he doesn't know the ways of life himself. So how would he teach to his son? So this is the first and foremost issue that is predominant in a boy not being a masculine man in future. Okay, secondly, sometimes when the father is absent in the growing up of his son, in the life of his son, the mother sometimes teaches things which doesn't have to do anything with masculinity, but she thinks that this is the way of masculinity. Like, for example, not wearing clothes on upper body. She thinks that because he's a boy, it he doesn't need to wear clothes in his upper body. I mean, that's a way of masculinity because you are a man. You don't need to wear clothes. Maybe sometimes they say, you're a man, you're a boy. You can urinate anywhere. I mean, you're a man. Sometimes they teach, you're a man, you don't need to talk to a girl in your school. You're in a kindergarten, you don't talk to the girl. When you need not to talk to a girl because you're a boy, you're a man. Talk to other boys, talk to boys only. You should not talk to a girl. Sometimes they take extreme measures when they see their boy talking to a girl, a child. They go to the teacher and they, I mean, I'm talking about the mother and sometimes the father. They tell the teacher to separate them, to make them sit separately. I mean, this is insane. If you are not letting your boy talk to a girl when he's a child, how do you think he'll be able to handle a woman when he's adult? Because 50% of his life is going to be how his relationship is. I mean, an adult man needs to be in a relationship which provides him the peace of mind to do other things of his life. And if he's not able to operate with a girl, he's not if he's not learning how to talk to a girl, how do you expect what he's going to become when he's an adult? He will be manipulated. So what are the other things that are taught by the mother? So she tells him to always bring more marks than your female counterpart. Always bring more marks than all the girls of your school. Because if a girl gets more marks than you, then you are a disgrace. I mean, the hatred between a boy and a girl, the seed is already sown when he's a kid. What do you expect when this boy will become an adult and he is abusive to his wife? What do you expect? Isn't it normal then? So, uh, these are all misplaced masculinity. We have no idea what it is to raise a boy because his future is dependent on it. Now, what are the right ways to impart these things? The right way is to simply, uh, the father has to be present in the upbringing of the boy, and he has to know all these things. First of all, has to have an idea of what it is to be masculine, what it is to be a man. If he has the ideas, then he can impart those ideas in him some way or another. There's no fixed way. I mean, there are ways which we might talk in my future videos. I'm not going to talk about what are the particular ways that you're going to impart these things to him. But first of all, as a parent, as a father, as a mother, you have to know these things. If you don't know, how will you expect to make him know, let him know? If you're ignorant, then he'll never know. If you know, then you will somehow find a way to teach him. First of all, you have to take the lessons. We see these days a lot of boys destroying themselves, diminishing themselves for small reasons like getting less marks in school or being rebuked by the teacher or being dumped for breakups by their teenage girlfriends. We see a lot of men destroying themselves, a lot of young men destroying themselves. Lots of adult men are destroying themselves because they are not being able to handle their marital life. And this is all over the news. All they had to do, which might sound simple, but it's not, because you know how we are raised. All they had to do is to hold on, withstand, and wait for the bad time to pass. But because they were not taught all these things, all these ideas when they were a kid, they couldn't make it. And it's a sad thing. Men destroying themselves, it's a sad thing because they are the ones they're going to keep the fabric of the society. So, it's very much important to raise your boy the right way. And it's very much important to know those things, because you don't know. If you don't know, then you cannot teach him, as I said. So, if you have a young boy, or if you are having to, you're, if you are planning to have a child, and if he turns out to be a boy, then you have to be very careful about it. There are so many things in this video which I just touched and didn't discuss in deep concern because of the time. I'm going to discuss about those aspects in my future videos, maybe in this series, or maybe in a different series, or maybe in a standalone video. I don't know yet, but yes, there is scope. There is a lot of scope of discussing those things, those small, delicate things. I hope you gain something from this video. Come back in my next video. Bye.